Thank you very much for having me. All of you, I think, in your businesses are striving every day to promote your companies and products, and that's perfectly natural. In the many activities of an ambassador, of diplomats in general, is also to promote globally their countries and the companies of their countries. So I'm going to say a few words about the French economy and about investment in France. I would like first to thank the organizers of this event, impressive event, and as many said before me, very good attendance and high quality people, in particular Natural Group and Martin Do, and special thanks to the chairman of Martin Do, Mr. Ali Haï, for giving me this opportunity to stand in front of this distinguished audience and to present some information about investment in France. Taking stock on a recent event which President Macron held 2 weeks ago, it was the 5th edition of an event called Choose France, a meeting of prominent world businessmen, more than 200 from all continents, who were invited in the Palace of Versailles, and which this year again was a great success in terms of attendance and of number and value, about $30 billion of investment projects announced, resulting in about 8,000 direct job creation, in particular in medium-sized cities. So, to take again the name of this event, why choose France? Here I'm not talking about choosing France as a destination for your next holidays, although I can only encourage you to be part of the 90 million tourists who visit France every year, making France the first tourist destination in the world. But today I would like to talk of France as an investment destination. According to the last EY survey, France is Europe's most attractive country for the 4th year running, with 1,259 investment projects in 2022. Last year, France became more attractive than ever in a complex international environment, with an average of 32 investment decisions per week. France ranks highest in terms of industrial projects, with 547 registered last year, and ranks also number 1 in terms of R&D, and continues to be seen by foreign investors as a land of innovation. France is also experiencing some of the strongest growth in Europe, with 142 R&D hubs in 2022. French regions offer a unique environment which makes them particularly attractive. The size of the job pool, the presence of talent training infrastructure, a research and innovation ecosystem in synergy with businesses, all assets that make different regions stand out internationally and attract foreign business investment that correspond to each region's assets. Paris is not France, and France is not only Paris. Regional capitals like Lyon, Marseille, Bordeaux, Toulouse, also nicknamed Airbus City, play a central role in France's economic development and are major innovation centers. And beyond our borders, France is obviously a gateway to the huge and wealthy EU market, but also to Africa. What you will find in France, why you would find in France attractive, is the global environment that is made of excellent public infrastructures, quality public services, which are either free or very cheap, in terms, for instance, of education, healthcare, or culture. The positive momentum is a sign of international investors' confidence over the long term in France and the policy conducted under President Macron for the past 6 years. Since 2017, France's attractiveness has been enhanced through a major structural reform program aiming at transforming the economy, businesses' activity, and to boost competitiveness. As all this explains the excellent ranking of France in terms of global investment in the world, which shows that businesses know the realities of the country beyond what the media may sometimes report about the situation in France. Let me underline some key elements of those reforms. A tax environment conducive to investment. We have decreased the corporate taxation, which is returning to the European average. Second, the transformation of the French social model, which has boosted flexibility and competitiveness thanks to the 2017 labor law reforms. Third, an attractive ecosystem for international talent with the talent passport residence permit valid for 4 years, including for accompanying family members. Fourth, simplified administrative procedures and setting up in France is now made easier. So why Pakistani company should invest in France? Mainly because we need to develop an economic relationship based not only on a supplier-to-client relationship, but on reciprocal partnership. Our economic exchanges are still far short of their potential, taking into account the vast trade opportunities offered by the Pakistani market on the one hand, and the expertise France and French companies can offer in such varied fields as renewable energy, urban development, food processing, or consumer products. So we must endeavor to do better and more in a context that remains challenging. In fact, trade between France and Pakistan increased by 20% in 2022, reaching now more than $2 billion. And during the same year, French export increased by 18%, about $500 billion. Although, of course, our exports were severely impacted by the import reduction policy. In the same time, a nearly $1.6 billion Pakistani export to France have exceeded their all-time high in sector covered by the GSP Plus mechanism, that is textile and leather products. Pakistani companies have increased their presence in France thanks to two major investments made in 2016 by, of course, Martin Doe in the pharmaceutical sector. But we know many more who are willing to develop their business activities in our country. In this regard, let me mention Business France, which is a public network of experts in France and in 55 offices in the world. Their mission is to inform investors on a daily basis about opportunities, put them in contact with government decision makers, and assist them in setting up their businesses. Obviously, the economic session of the embassy here in Islamabad and myself will remain at your disposal to discuss any prospect or project you would like to develop in France. Beyond the business aspect, the exchanges we aim to promote will definitely further strengthen our bilateral ties and be an occasion for French and Pakistani entrepreneurs to know each other more and to establish long-term friendly and fruitful relations. With this, let me conclude by saying that the objective of this presentation is to provide you with information you may not always have or have in mind about the French economy. France may be primarily known in Pakistan for its historic sites, the Romans of Paris or the glamorous Riviera, and as far as products are concerned, for its luxury industry. And all this indeed exists and represent a very sizable part of our economy. I mentioned the importance of the tourism industry at the beginning of this speech, but needless to say that the famous French fashion and perfume brands are also a considerable asset for exports. But beyond this, French economy is very diverse, dynamic, and innovative. Therefore, I can only encourage all of you to follow the example of Martin Doe, while thanking again Mr. Rakai and Nutshell Group for having me today. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. Shukriya.